Cheers. Cheers. Well, it's that time again.
I'm Annie,
And I'm Susan.
and this is
Two friends.
One Chat. Whoa!
Yes, we did it. We did it. I almost said dose friends
Oh,
just
well,
because I was feeling a little.
we did have Cinco de Mayo earlier in the week, Monday.
Oh, I
last
missed
week.
that. Okay, I missed that.
Oh, were you in DC?
When was the 5th? I
This
telling you,
Monday.
oh, so no, I was prepping to go. That's why.
Ah,
It's all a blur.
Yep,
It's all a blur.
that's totally fair. We walked down to our local pizza place, and it was a gorgeous day. So we had cocktails on the patio. Oh no, actually it was kind of
Ooh.
chilly. We were inside, but I got a margarita, and it was the most interesting margarita I've ever had. Yes, in that it didn't quite taste like a margarita.
Oh.
Yeah. Um, it was um I drank it, which is strength based.
Okay.
Um, but they used
I drank it.
yeah,
Strength
yeah, yeah, yeah.
based.
Just owning it that I did finish it.
Okay.
But it had so there's a Rose's Lime is like it's like a bar thing. A lot of bars have it behind the desk, and says on there it's lime juice, but it's really sweet lime syrup is what it is. And
Oh,
so there was
interesting.
and there was no sour in it and no lime. They used the lime syrup, so it was like clear and green tinted.
So
It
was it
was
really a margarita then?
I don't think I would personally name it a margarita.
Okay, a tequila based drink.
It was yeah, I told Aaron actually because it wasn't bad. Like I drank it, it tasted like a tangy lime tequila drink, kind of like
Okay.
to be honest, it didn't even really taste like tequila, frankly. So I'm not even sure if I had tequila in it, but I was like, I would name this the Slimer, like from yeah.
Ooh.
And I put it on a menu. Like it's definitely drinkable. But that's what it reminded me of was Ghostbusters.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So good drink, but not what you were expecting when you ordered a margarita.
Yes, absolutely. But never
Okay.
fear. We have all the ingredients at the house for a margarita. So I got to make the classic Annie margarita, which is really just lime, tequila, and agave, salt on the rim. Mwah.
That's all I want. I mean,
Mhm,
bless all of those that make those fruity flavored margaritas.
mhm,
Like,
mhm,
good on
mhm,
you. Go for it. But
mm.
only classic,
Just classic.
only salt on the rim. I don't get
Oh
people that
yeah.
put sugar on the rim. It makes
On the
zero sense
rocks.
to me. Always on the rocks,
Yep.
never blended.
Never
Thank
blended. Shaken, poured over ice, salt on
Yep.
the rib. Good,
Mm,
that good
mm.
flaky salt. Oh,
Oh, the big flakes. Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking. That's oh. Anyway, so I
It
did come
is
up with
only 6 a.m. here, but now I really just want a margarita.
I love that. I
Happy
don't
Mother's Day, Mom. You know where we're going.
tip my glass to you, Mom. That's so awesome. I'm not sure I can say I've ever had a morning margarita, but I'm ready to change that.
Okay, maybe next time I come.
Yes.
Okay, we'll
I
try
really
morning
could see.
margaritas.
I could see a morning margarita being really delicious with like a fruity breakfast. So if you
Oh,
had like some kind of buffet of fruit and maybe like scones or something like that, and then some
okay.
margaritas. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I'd eat that. And
I'm in.
yeah,
I'm in. Okay.
I'm in. I'll make us a nice little like the pitcher of margaritas.
We Breakfast margaritas. We just started something. Okay.
I think it's gonna be
We're
amazing.
trademarking that. We're
Yeah.
trademarking that.
Like So Cinco de Mayo, like like the next day is making it popular that you just go to brunch after, Cinco de
Oh,
Mayo celebration, you go have morning margaritas.
okay.
I'm in.
Starting it. Let's do it.
Oh, it's so awesome.
I
Well,
love it.
I am very excited for today's topic
Ooh, yes.
because on the subject, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It's such incredible work to be a mother, and I am so grateful for the energy and work that's poured into our young people because they are the
Yeah.
future. That's huge. And I see moms every day advocating, working
Oh,
for, and
right.
just and it's incredible. So
Yeah.
shout out to the moms out there who always go above and beyond for the well-being of their babies.
Yep.
That's badass
And
is
I
what
think
it is.
all mom figures, and not to take away from
Mhm.
moms that, have physically birthed a child. I know that's a
Yeah.
big, huge deal. Not something I've ever experienced or will, but I think you can be a mom to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. And that
Mhm.
passion that you're talking about, that advocacy and that fighting for your people and your kids, however that looks to you,
Yeah.
just kudos.
Mad kudos. I think that's a great point too to say, like, honoring absolutely the biological point of it. But
Right.
there are so many mother figures out there way beyond a biological connection
Right.
that just are caring, are advocating, are leading groups of people in a motherly fashion of like, yes, like protective. And I got to say, of course, everyone, I'm in Cincinnati and I spend a lot of time, because it's part of my job is I stream all of our commissioners meetings because one of our commissioners serves on the council that I serve.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
we have three lady commissioners and it is so awesome to see them just like protect and support our city and to do it in such just what I have described as a badass lady fashion. Like,
Yes.
so it is so incredible. So yes, shout out to biological mothers, non-biological mothers, and like mothers that are leaders. Mad shout out.
Yes.
You're crushing it. Don't
Yeah.
stop. Don't stop. I know it's too much. Don't stop though.
Yeah. Don't, yeah. Go ahead and take a break. Get
Take a break.
yourself a morning margarita,
Hell yeah.
but then back to work we go.
Back to work to go. Don't quit. Hashtag don't quit. Don't quit.
Hashtag don't quit.
I like that
We
though.
got
Do
your
take
back.
breaks. Do take breaks, but don't quit. But don't quit. But don't
Do
quit.
take your breaks. They are
hmm
mandatory,
hmm
required, good for
hmm
you.
Very good for you.
But then back to work.
Back to work. We need you really bad. We need you so bad. Oh man, I love that so much.
Oh my
Morning.
goodness. Yes, we do love moms. Happy Mother's Day to anyone that resonates with for sure. But I think that kind of leads to the topic we want to talk about today. You guys know we sink and love boundaries
Heck
all day,
yes.
every day, everywhere, with everybody.
Mm, mm,
Boundaries.
mm, mm,
But today we thought we'd talk a little bit more about family boundaries. How do we set? Because I think
mm.
we've done boundaries a lot. I think we've talked a lot about boundaries at work and with like people maybe outside of your intimate circle. But how
Mhm.
do we set boundaries with those people that should be closest to us? I know not everyone's close with their families, but I think family history and family dynamics makes boundaries with those people a lot messier and a lot harder and a lot more complicated.
Oh man. Oh man. Yes. To quote you, I'm putting my finger on my nose, but ding, ding, ding. I feel like if you can accomplish boundaries with your family, you can do anything.
Yeah. It's it is
Mm,
it is hard.
yeah.
It is really, really, and I mean, no, I am going to pat myself on my back. I've done a
Yes, you
whole
have.
lot of work, whole lot of work around family boundaries. Still am doing it. I noticed I got triggered this week while I was in DC with family boundary stuff. And had to kind of re-explain to some family members why I've put the boundaries up that I have. Like they still kind of weren't recognizing. So it's hard work, but there's no way I could get where I am on my mental health journey without having done those things. I wouldn't be where I am without putting boundaries around my family. So
That's right.
I'm going to pat myself on the back, which does not happen very often at all.
Oh man, I think you should definitely give yourself a pat on the back. Do you feel comfortable sharing the story of the family boundaries and you have like the process you had to go through to re-explain? And if you wouldn't mind, how that felt for you? Like, because that's,
Oh,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
one of the complications with boundaries is it's like so much energy on the boundary drawer on you, like to do that.
Yes. Right. And I think, and there's, I mean, we don't have, it could be a whole other podcast, the boundaries I've put into place with different family
Oh,
members. So we won't go into all of them, but um it it is all you. You will have to be the one to do the work. You're the one that has to hold the boundaries. And that's because boundaries are about you and something you can do. And you sent me that video or meme. I don't have it on me, but do you want to explain the video you sent me?
oh yeah. A lady articulating boundaries. And the way she did it, I felt was so profound that a boundary is something that you draw, that you say, hey, I'm going to really put my finger in the sand, if you will, and you draw a line. That boundary is not requiring someone else to draw that line, right? So
Yes.
the responsibility is really on you as the boundary drawer to both have it and enforce it. And so it's basically like a boundary isn't like, trying to think of a good example. I think in her case, she talks about having a mother in law that swings by all the time.
Yep.
And yes, and she says, so the person, so she swings by and she says, hey, I really can't have you doing this. It disrupts routine and things like that. If you can call ahead, then yes, we can do it. And she says, the boundary isn't like saying that. The
Right.
boundary is like, hey, I'm really sorry, but you can't come in. And then, so, you know what I mean? Like, that's
You
really,
didn't do the desired action.
yes,
So I have to set up a boundary now
yes,
of not letting you in.
that's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
It was, I mean, so profound. And in the fact that, like, if she lets the mother in law in this scenario, the mother in law is not breaking the boundary.
Right.
She is. Like, she is
Yeah.
breaking, yes. And so that's why I'm sure in the case of you, you're very busy, you're traveling for work. What's hard about boundaries is they really come back to you.
Right.
And like you need that emotional space, you need that like physical energy, that ability. It is hard to do that. Like,
Yeah.
and I think it's similar to the way we approach self-care where we say like, hey, go have a self-care routine. We kind of flippantly say like, go like draw a boundary. But like that's really hard work to do
Hard.
and it takes a lot.
And it takes a ton of energy and time. And just like everything we talk about here everything we talk about takes time and energy, but it's all worth it. So I don't want people to hear, God, this sounds hard. I'm not going to do it. It's
Yeah.
hard. So worth it. It will
Oh,
totally change your life because it takes the time, one, to realize you need a boundary,
yeah.
two, to figure out what that boundary is,
Yeah.
three, to say it out loud, and then four, you've got to hold it. And that's the hard
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
Because it's you and yours to do, you have to be vigilant about holding that boundary.
Yeah.
Because if not, then people are going to walk right through and realize, oh, they don't mean what they say. I can, and whether they mean to or not, I can keep taking advantage of this person in this way.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
Can you
yeah.
talk specifics about your event this weekend or this week? Sorry, not event, but
Oh, specifically
yeah.
what happened. So I and it was talking with my mom, who I have worked years and years and years putting boundaries up with her, and she's been amazing about it.
That's
She
awesome.
gets it. She supports me in it. You know, she trips up sometimes, I trip up sometimes, but we're always kind of open about communicating those things together. And I was chatting with her. There's like a big group family text
Oh,
that we
nice.
have. And she was I was in DC all week with a person living with ALS, and we were talking to our senators and representatives and doing all this advocacy work, and she's like, I don't understand why you don't put this in the family group chat. Like, why aren't you telling the family these wonderful things you're doing? And I hadn't answered right away because I was busy, and so she put it in the chat, and bless my brother's heart, he immediately made a joke about it because that's what he does. And that's my brother. And I'm not trying to change my brother, but my boundaries around him is that I'm just going to keep doing me, and
Yeah.
I don't, you know, need him. So I don't do that sort of stuff because it usually turns into a joke.
Mm,
And while I don't think my family doesn't like me or isn't proud
yeah.
of me, it just quickly turns into how funny Robert is. And he
Yeah.
is. He's hilarious. And thank God he is, because he's an asshole too. So he needs that to balance himself out.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
there's family history. It's fine. That's a different podcast, but
Yeah.
um my boundary is just to like not engage
Yeah.
with those sorts of comments or things. And really my boundary prior to my mom putting that in is I don't even put stuff in the chat because it doesn't feel worth it or safe to me to do that, because I don't need more negativity in my life. I don't need to be the butt
Yeah.
of a joke. And I don't think my brother does it intentionally. I just don't think he knows what he's doing. His
I
MO is
mean,
to be the funny guy, but I don't think he realizes the cost that comes with it. But he's also an adult, and it's not my job to educate him on
yeah,
that. Like,
that's
I'm
right.
just going to do my own thing.
I mean,
So it's re-explaining to her why
yeah.
I didn't put that in there, because as you can see,
Yeah.
very few people cared about it.
Mm,
Everyone just thought Robert's joke was funny. And like, I've done enough work.
yeah.
I just need to keep doing me and being proud of me. So,
Yeah. I love that. It's really complicated too. I will say, as like an external person, I think not that you even need validation, but I totally understand your perspective because I've seen that humor used as like more of a way to like stay superior. Like
mhm.
'cause humor, we've talked so much about humor on the show, which is great. And humor is this beautiful tool, but it is a tool. And I have seen it used as like, I'm going to make fun of you because I need to feel better than you. I
Right.
need to feel like I need to lessen the work that you're doing so I still feel like I have the upper hand. And I've definitely seen that in like interactions, like not just in like, between you and your brother, but between lots of people. I've seen that done, like
Right.
we can watch it play out politically,
Yeah.
like, like in front of us. But I really support that boundary just as like, your friend.
Yeah.
Because like I've definitely seen it used that way. And good on you for really re-explaining that boundary. You even have
Yeah.
a perfect example of like, hey, look, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm awesome. I'm holding the boundary. You do you. Bam.
Yes.
Bam.
Exactly. And I think that's a great example of what we're talking about. That is a boundary that literally nobody else probably in my family chat knows about until
Yeah.
now, if they listen to this podcast, which I don't think they do, which is
Yeah.
fine. But like, it's not anything I ever told anybody. It was a
Yeah.
boundary I drew for myself.
Good for you.
So I think that's kind of the core of what that video that you sent was. Boundaries are all about you. Whether you share them with someone or not
Yep.
doesn't matter, because they're something you do for you.
Yep.
So it could be that no one ever knows you've put this little boundary up, but it's
Mm-hmm.
working for you, which is exactly this scenario.
Yep.
Nobody in my family has any idea why I don't participate in that chat very often.
Yeah.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
It's a boundary I set. It works for me. I keep it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I really like that, because I think some boundaries like that really are just like internal, purposeful, like you have to do it because the cost and energy that it takes to respond to that kind of, it's just not worth it, right? Like,
Yeah.
and also like that's not a receptive audience. Like you have lived with them, you know them. This is why I think family boundaries are so difficult. And I think you've really touched on something we don't spend a lot of time talking about, and that it is okay to have those personal internal boundaries for
Yes.
yourself. Like you don't have to, boundaries don't have to be as extreme as like telling your mother-in-law you can't come inside. That's a
Right.
great example because it's like so tangible and essential to understanding boundaries, and the fact that like if you let her in and it disrupts everything, that's not her fault. Like
You let her in. Yeah.
you broke that boundary, which I hate. That it's hard, but it really goes back to it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility,
Yeah.
right? Like having to draw boundaries not your fault, but it is your responsibility to do so. So that's a really heavy thing to say, but sorry, I'm tangenting a little bit. I want to jump back to like some boundaries really are that personal internal learning of like, you know, kind of like over, like analyzing, I'm pouring so much energy into this and it's not working and it's
Right.
not working. It's not working. And so like being like, you know what I could do? Like close that off, get all that energy that I'm hemorrhaging out back, and just like not participate. And that's really hard to do with family, but
Yeah.
these kind of like, I don't even know how we would describe them, but almost like just an internal, almost like an internal silent boundary. Those are really
Yes.
great to have. Those, I
Yeah.
want to honor that. Like that's powerful
Yeah.
to like, you know, present that tool to people.
Yeah. And like you said, it makes it so much messier with family because,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if anybody on that group chat needed me, I'd be there in a second. Right.
Yeah.
And that's a
Oh, of
different, so
course.
there's
Yeah.
different boundaries you can set
Yeah.
with family members for like different reasons. I love everybody. I love my family. There's not a single member of my family I don't love and wouldn't do
Absolutely.
anything for. But you can set those kind of relational boundaries as well to be like, yeah, on my day to day, I can't
Yeah.
do this with you. You have a true emergency or you need something.
Of
Obviously, I'm going to
course.
be there in a heartbeat.
In a heartbeat.
No questions asked.
Yep.
Zero
Yep.
questions asked.
Yep.
But for day to day, normal, like I'm just not going to play this game with
I love that.
you that are playing that game. So like, good on
I-
you. Enjoy your chat. Enjoy yourselves. You need me, I'll be there. But outside of that, I'm gonna keep climbing my mental health mountain.
Oh.
Not gonna let you bring me down.
Yep.
So
All I hear is like, ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Ain't nothing gonna hold me down. Whoa, no. That's that I love that.
yes,
And
yes. I love that.
I want to give people that tool, like that. It's almost like a sneaky tool, but for empathetic people and for people that are in the helping profession already, we have to be super cautious of our energies, like super cautious of our ability, because it if that's not in balance, I can't meet people's needs, and that's my job, right?
Right.
Like, so I think that there's something so powerful about being like, I love you, I care about you. I'm actually going to put this boundary up though, so I don't expel more energy than is needed. You
Right.
know, like I think that's beautiful and healthy and shows your ability to know yourself. And that's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think for those of you that maybe are at the bottom of the mental health mountain, as I was, boundaries are necessary to even start your journey. And I think that's what I meant by like, I wouldn't be the person I am if I hadn't set boundaries. And no family member was ill-intentioned, but
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of people that were very needy starting around the age of 16 that just everyone needed me to do everything for them. And I did that for years and years and years and years till I finally started my mental health journey.
Yeah.
And you can't even be who you're supposed to be until you set those boundaries.
That's right.
Because, and again, no one was ill-intentioned, but people will suck every ounce of energy you have, and then you'll have nothing left to go on your journey with. And you can't stop that unless you set those boundaries. Like my grandma would have played cards with me 24/7, 7 days a week if I let her, right? I had to set boundaries. You get once a week, you get 4 hours, and then we're done. Then I have to go. And you have to set those boundaries to even open up your heart and mind and soul to see what life has for you. That's when, and I hope I'm getting this across the right way. Because it was not that I didn't want to support my family or take care of them, but there was no way for me to find me without setting boundaries to give me some of that energy back to figure out what I wanted to do with my life.
I think that's beautiful. And I think you really did a great job of saying, like, no one in the family was ill-intended. In fact, it's beautiful that your grandma would play cards with you 24/7 if she could. I think that's incredible, right? It really speaks to like you're awesome. And I think in a lot of ways when we think of boundaries, we assume the worst, that someone has to draw a boundary like they're just being really ungood, right? Like
Right.
they're bringing a
Right.
lot of negativity. And that is not the case in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Like, and it really has to do with that, like, again, moving that ownership to you as the boundary owner. And like, especially as a female, feeling free to draw those boundaries so that you can explore who you are and what you want to do. We give those a lot naturally to like male born. That's really common.
Yeah, we do.
Nature versus nurture, right? We're like, what are you going to do? You're going to be a lawyer. You're going to do all these things. But there is this implication of a woman's work. You're just going to do it.
Right.
And, there's lots of research.
When are you going to get married and how many kids are you going to have? Right.
Yes.
That's what we hear growing up.
Oh my gosh, I know. It's
not
so
what
weird.
Are you going to do with your life?
Yeah.
But when are you going to get married?
That's exactly right. Like when I went to college, everyone called it getting your MRS degree. Getting your missus.
Oh, sheesh.
Ugh,
that was the whole point of going to college?
Yeah.
Gross. That's gross.
They called it ring by spring.
That's not okay.
No, it's really, really not. Like,
it's not okay.
Oh, it's so creepy when I like reflect on it. It was like a funny joke then, and I was cognizant enough to know that that's not what I wanted. Right? Like I could recognize that was like a little bananas.
Yeah.
But I certainly didn't understand how horrific those implications are until like, like the farther removed I got, because I was just a teenager, right? Like I was like 18 hearing these jokes, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, it's yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
The other thing I would add to this is, and a therapist once told me, and it's 100% true, I think why boundaries were hard for me, I mean, they're hard for everybody, but I think why it took me so long to actually do them, it will upset the apple cart. There's no way for it not to. You can't do this perfectly or nice enough that everyone's going to immediately walk away happy. The other side will be mad. They will be hurt. They will be confused, but they will be okay.
Yeah.
They're going to be all right. I promise.
I love that. That
they're okay. So just know as you're looking to set these up with family members, it's gonna it's gonna toss the boat a little bit.
Yeah, well,
But it's for the right reasons, and everyone truly will be better off for it. We should have guest people on. I should bring my mom on. She's the perfect example
yeah,
of all the boundaries we set were very hard for her. They're
yeah.
hard for me, but I think we are both better people. I know she is a much more independent, critical thinker because of boundary setting that I've done with her. Like, I'm super proud of her and I love her so much. Like,
Your mom is
you'll
awesome.
get through it. You'll come out the other side of it.
Yeah.
Better. Both sides will be better for it eventually.
I think you really hit on a key point too, and I think it's something that you and I really have an unusual window of understanding in, and that is like observation of codependent relationships.
Mm,
And I really want to speak to you if you are in a family system where there's codependency. Um, the the apple cart upset is going to be a lot.
yes.
And in a best outcome, because I think when I kind of reflect on my boundary setting, uh, it didn't end up with people coming out on the other side, with this new sense of independence and things like that. In a best case scenario, it will, because
Yeah.
when you draw those boundaries, that isn't helpful just for you. That is helpful for the other person who's really struggling in like that codependent mindset. So I think, I just want to prepare listeners. The apple cart upset may not be awesome on the other end. It may just crumble the apple cart, but you will be okay.
You will be okay. There you
You
go.
will be okay. And you cannot save people at the cost of yourself. And I think that is the most important thing for our listeners to hear. Like this we have a very interesting narrative oftentimes that like, and it's told, I really, this is a kind of a hashtag throwback to narratives. I really encourage people to pay attention to the narratives they're taught in pop culture and movies and books and things that are popular. There is a very interesting belief system that you can save another person at the cost of
Oof.
yourself. And I can't tell our listeners enough, that's not real. It's just not. In fact, real providers of first response will tell you that you can't do that. Like, and so I really, really want to encourage people that if you pull yourself away from that apple cart and you start caring for yourself and drawing those boundaries, and it upsets the apple cart, one, it could absolutely get better. So I want to encourage you that, don't hear my doom and gloom. And if it doesn't get better, if the apple cart stays distressed,
Yeah.
but then that is still a good choice.
Good choice for you.
Yes.
That is a great point. I think healthy, meaningful relationships, both sides will be better for it on the other
Absolutely.
side. And you
Yes.
will have to set boundaries even with wonderful
Yep.
relationships and wonderful people that love you very much.
Yes.
But you're right, the unhealthy ones may not survive as they are, but that's good. That
It is
what
good.
you
Yes.
needed. And my social worker heart on some level thinks that's better for that other person because they need to go figure something else out. So like your
Amen.
relationship might not work, but hopefully that is a catalyst for them to do their work in their life. But that's none of your business no more because you set a boundary.
You
So
set a
bye-bye.
boundary. And now you can pursue your mental health, and a mentally healthy you will affect positive change way more than a mentally unhealthy version of you.
Yes.
And I love that. Like, even if the apple cart crumbles, that needs to happen because it
Yep.
wasn't sustainable. Like, so I really love that. Like, you could be the catalyst for change, even though it feels so, oh man, I can't empathize enough with our listeners who are drawing boundaries. And I need you to know that you're not alone. That gross, guilty feeling that you have
Yep.
is A, natural, and B, I just want to rebuke that for you because you're not alone. But that feeling isn't it isn't the precursor to a bad notion that you think it is.
Right.
It's just saying this is hard and I don't like it, and that's okay. But I promise you the other end is better.
And I think it truly goes back to I don't know why I always come back to gross infected wounds, right? It hurts like a mother when you clean it out, but you've got to clean it out.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can't, there's no nice way to clean
Yep.
it out.
Just got to do it.
You just gotta do it. You gotta squirt that Bactine in there, and it's gonna sting a lot, and you're gonna cry.
It's
But
going to be
then
terrible.
the wound is gonna heal once you clean it out.
Oh, you guys, I know I've said this story maybe one time, but also I hope that everybody has a friend like Susan in their life that introduces them to Bactine. I didn't even know that was real. For our listeners, if you're like me, Bactine is like a disinfectant. It's like a hydrogen peroxide with a painkiller. How had no one told me this? I was like in my 20s and I had really messed up my toe, and I was like,
Oh, that
oh,
door on your
oh my God.
toe.
It was like the
Ugh.
worst thing ever. Oh my
Weren't
God.
you having dinner with your
Brother. Yeah.
brother?
Yeah. Oh man. And I opened a door to a restroom, which made me even more paranoid. So I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, it's gonna get infected. And the door height was just above toe length, and it ripped my toenail off.
Yeah.
It was so gross, you guys. And it
It
hurt
was
so
gross.
bad. And I remember you were like, we got home and you're like, I'm gonna help you clean it out. And I was so worried. And I don't know if you went to the store.
We
Well,
went on our way back to your apartment
right. Yeah. And you were
because
like,
I
here's
told you need Bactine, and you're like, "What's Bactine?" I'm like, "Oh, well, here we go."
So my point is, I hope you guys have a friend that actually will help you through the hard part of the wounding, where like they say things like, did you know you could get a disinfectant with a with like a
Yeah.
painkiller in it? And I'm like, oh, really?
And
And
that
it made
is
it better.
actually another really great point. You have to do boundaries on your own, but you can ask for support in those, right? You
Mhm.
can tell the people you trust and
Yeah.
love and that are with you on your mental health journey, like, hey, here's the boundary I've set. Will you help me
Mm.
maintain that? Will you check in with me on it? Can we talk about it after I do it? Or, all those sorts of
Yes. Process, especially with family stuff, process with someone,
Oof.
because I can't describe to you, it will feel like you're doing the wrong thing a lot of
Yeah.
times. Like when you,
Yes.
yes, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
but you're not. And I
Because it
promise you, you're
feels
not.
wrong for the other person. And
Yep.
they're going to make you think that because you're
Oh, yeah.
upsetting them. But you're not. That means you're doing the right thing for you. It
Yes.
really does.
I really like this idea of kind of like not like a sneaky boundary, but it's okay to have silent drawn boundaries
100%.
that you don't have to explain to other people. Good on you, though, for explaining it to your mom. That's really sweet. But it sounds like you guys also have that open communication relationship, which is really beautiful.
100%.
It's really wonderful.
We've worked really hard at that. Really hard at that. But we have it. But yeah, totally okay. And I hadn't necessarily 100% planned on sharing all of this today. So
Oh,
we'll see if any family actually listens. If now my silent boundary is no longer silent, I may have some upset apple carts, but that's okay. I'm in a strong, healthy place, and I'm more than
yeah.
happy to explain to individual family members why I've made the decisions I've made. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
what upset apple cart may come from this, but
Well, if you feel comfortable, if it upsets it, you should share, because
yeah.
I think there is something about doing this podcast, and I definitely felt it when I did my core wounds episode, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm really putting this out there.
Yeah.
And it's really that cost benefit analysis. It's like, I want people to have a better life. I want them to live and learn from like the
Yes.
things I wish I would have known. And so I just want to really honor that, for our listeners, like there's a lot of this. It's really like, hey, this is going on in my life and it's a big deal. And we're really putting it out there. So I think that's very brave of you. Like, it's not easy to do.
No, we love you as listeners, and I
Yes.
totally agree with Annie. Like, and I think it's just true. We learn from other people,
Yeah.
which is why we're doing this. And we can't do this and not on some level be open and honest about what we're going through. But I also think we've done enough of our work that we know when we're ready
Yes.
and we're
Right.
strong enough to share the things that we're sharing. So I don't by any means think everyone should just share everything immediately. We're ready for it and have done our work and have enough tools to handle whatever's going to come from us sharing.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we do it, because it's important, but we're also ready and prepared for it.
Yeah.
With our tool belts, our tool
Oh,
bandoliers
yeah.
and carts and
Oh, yeah. Every day I'm learning new tools, and I'm just so grateful for that because, yeah, we really need them now.
all of
Now
the
more than ever.
tools. All of the tools.
It's so
And I
awesome.
think we wish those for our for these people we're setting boundaries. As social workers anyway, I don't think
Yeah.
the random public needs to be as worried about the other side of their boundary people, right?
Yeah.
Let them do what they need to do. You take care of you. I think as social workers, I wish that for my family, right? I wish that for my brother. I know enough to know that he's probably, I wish he would take a little more mental health journey, not because anything's wrong with him, but I think he could just be a different person
Yeah.
and be a
Yeah.
little more supportive in other ways if
Yeah.
he looked at his, but I think we all can. So again, I don't, there are people out there, you may have family members that you truly have there's serious concern, and set real hard boundaries.
Yeah.
No holds barred, just go for it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
No one in my family is ill-intentioned. They
Yeah.
just are not always the most supportive. So
Yeah.
it there's levels of boundaries. So by no means do I want people to think that if you have a truly abusive family member that you need to be gentle or kind about it. You do you. Set those boundaries real hard, real strong, real fast.
I like that. And maybe next episode, because I think we've done a really good job really exploring the softer tools, kind of what you
Yeah.
talked about, this real like that not all boundaries have to be like a verbal boundary. I'm giving this to you because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
And maybe we talk about that next episode because there is an absolute time and place, particularly with family, to have those harder conversations of like,
Ooh.
and so maybe we talk because I think we've done a great job really like that you're worth it internally, that it's okay to have these silent boundaries to really, shut the door on energy exertion for your own well-being and really
Yeah.
like how that's so important to start your mental health journey. I mean, it's
Yeah.
like just like what you said, it's imperative. You can't think about you if all you're doing is caring for other people. Um, which I think is a really important thing to talk about on Mother's Day because mothers are so overextended by nature.
Oh, yes.
But like moms, you got to care for you. Like
Yep.
and that's such easier said than done thing because you also have tiny beings that are dependent on you for
Right, right,
survival.
right, right, right.
Right. So not to say that that's the easy issue, but I really like this focus of taking like an internal stock of your emotional and energy levels
Right.
and really working those boundaries. And I think to your point, let's talk about some tips and tools next episode of how do we reinforce those big boundaries.
Okay.
And because I think that's equally hard work, you know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a fun apple cart conversation.
Mm. I love it.
I love it. It'll be juicy. It'll be
It
good.
is gonna be juicy and messy, and I love it.
I love it. Oh, that's awesome. It's gonna be juicy and messy, and I love it. Oh, that's the hashtag for the next one. Is it's gonna be
Juicy
juicy.
and messy.
Yep, I'm writing that down. Okay. Well, I am so grateful for our listeners. And join us next week. Oh, in 2 weeks, obviously. But
Yeah.
it's gonna be juicy and messy, and you're gonna love it.
Yeah. Mm. 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 Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And do reach out if you have any questions, comments, ideas. If something we talked about really sparked a big feeling, we'd love to hear about it.
Yeah. Or other things you want us to talk about.
Oh yes, oh yeah, because we're getting ready to start forecasting for season 4. That's
Yep.
actually a great point. So if you want to get those topics in, that's awesome. Two friends, one chat.com. And our email is twofriends.onechat@gmail.com.
Gmail. Yep. And we're on Facebook and
Yeah.
Insta, Two Friends One Chat. You can comment or DM, whatever it's called. I don't know. I'll answer it. I don't know what it's called, but direct message, I guess, is that what that stands for? DM me, slide into our DMs.
Well, we will see you guys, or you'll hear from us in 2 weeks. And thank you
Yes.
for joining us. And again, happy Mother's Day.
Yes. We love you, moms
Yes, we
and
love you.
listeners.
You make the world go round. It's awesome.
You do. 100%.
100%. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.